Let's create our data binding application. Open Android Studio, select a new project, empty views activity, and I'll name it as Data Binding App. To get started, you need to set up your development environment within your app to use the data binding library. The data binding library is bundled with the Android Gradle plugin. You don't need to declare any dependency on the library, but you must enable it. For that, I'll go to Gradle scripts. I'll select this app level, and this is the scope of Android tag. Scroll down. And to enable the data binding library, I'll use build features and here data binding true. So when setting the data binding build option to true in your models build.gradle file, you are enabling data binding. This is the first step. Click on sync now, and congratulations guys. Now you're able to bind UI components in your layouts to data sources in your app using a declarative format. This is the first step, enabling data binding library in Gradle. The second step is to go to the layout. We need to convert this standard layout into data binding layout. And this is done by using the layout tag, which will wrap your existing layout file at the root level. Here at the root level, we have this constraint layout. I'll use the layout tag with a small letter, and I'll move this closing tag to the bottom. The layout element is the root element of the data binding layout file. It specifies the top level structure of your layout, similar to the regular relative layout, linear layout, constraint layout, or other layout elements you should use in XML. And inside the opening tag and the layout tag, we should specify the XML namespace for data binding. So for that, I'll copy these namespaces here and move them to the layout like this. This is the root element of our layout, and typically include other UI elements within the layout element, like this constraint layout and this text view. So till now we have a layout, which is the root element. We have this constraint layout, and inside this constraint layout, we have this text view. So the root element is the layout tag. The third step is to use the variable tag and element. And the variable element is used within the data element to declare variables that will hold data you want to bind to your layout. For that, I'll place the data element under this layout. The first step is to add the data binding to the build.gradle and enable it. The second step is to go to the layout and add the layout as a root element. The third step is to declare a data element under this layout and before the other children. I'll start with data element. The data element is used to enclose all the data binding related elements in your layout file. It defines the scope for variables and expressions that link UI elements to data sources. Place the data element as a child of layout element, and inside the data element, you can declare one or more variable elements to associate with data source. The fourth step is to declare the variable tags and variable elements inside the data element. I'll use variable, and you can see we have two attributes, the name and type. The variable element is used within the data element to declare variables that will hold data you want to bind to your layout. These variables are typically instances of classes or view models that provide the data for your user interface. Place the variable elements within the data element. Declare a name for a variable using the name attribute. For example, person. And here I need to specify the type of the data using the type attribute. This is a very important step. For that, I'll create a new class that will act as a data source. I'll name it as person. And inside this person class, I'll declare two variables, one of type string called name and the other of type string called email. Alt plus insert to create the constructor having the name and email, and Alt plus insert to create getters and setters for both name and email, and I'll create an empty constructor. Alt plus insert, select none. This is just for null safety reasons. I need to get the name of person and display it inside this text view. So for that, I need to declare the type of data source that I need to display in this layout. I need to use person class. So for that, com.mastercoding.databindingapp.person class. And this is the hierarchy here, com.mastercoding.databindingapp.person. You should specify the type here for the variable in the data element. I am telling Android data binding library that the type of this variable is a person class. The fifth step is to bind the views with the variables of the data binding. For example, this text, I want to display the person name. Inside this text attribute that it is used to display texts inside this text view. I'll start with @ and two curly braces. I want from you to focus with me now. This is the syntax used for data binding expressions in Android. Inside the curly braces, you can specify the data source and the property you want to bind to the UI element. In this case, I have this one variable and only variable called person. I specify here person. This refers to the data source object. So person refers to the data source object. And in this case, it's assumed that there is an object named person here. Then we need to add dot, and you can see I can access set email, set name, email, and name attributes. I need to display the name at first. This is the property of person object that you want to bind to the UI elements text property. You are extracting the value of the name property from the person object and displaying it in the UI element. Save the project and let's move to the main activity to create an object of the person and see the data binding in action.